I'm Carl Moberg. I'm the CTO of Avassa Systems. I'm here today with Fredrik Jansson, my trusted demo colleague. And we're going to show you how to do monitoring and observability of applications across many sites and applications using some modern tools that our internal operations teams are asking us to do. And so as a group here, guys, don't forget, we're a team, we're on point. We work with our operations team to collect and display metrics. We'll keep it simple for now: CPU consumption and memory consumption per application, and application events. Fredrik already showed you our first application there gave us the number of popcorns popped. So that's a nice set of events to look at. And we do that on a per application and a per site basis. And we've built a little collection service here that picks things up from the control tower, massages the data so it fits into AWS CloudWatch, because again, that is the requirement from the operations team. And obviously, we're doing this in one fashion here, but the data can, of course, be massaged in many other ways, both on the kind of Avassa side, but certainly also on the AWS side. So we'll both look at the control tower, but most of the time, we'll actually spend in AWS CloudWatch to look at the data coming in. So we're going to review our setup for the CloudWatch collector that we have. We're going to review the CloudWatch configuration setup, which actually uses Strongbox. And then we'll look at the metrics and events pouring into CloudWatch and kind of break it down into useful data that our operations team, I'm sure, will love. It's yours, Fredrik.
Thank you, Carl. So while you were looking at Carl, I actually deployed our CloudWatch integration into the system as well. And if you have worked with Amazon before, you know that to be able to talk to their APIs, you need to specify a few things. The region, of course. So in this case, we're going to push the metrics and the logs into EU West 1, which happens to be Ireland. But you also have to specify a few secret things like the access key and the secret access key. And these are credentials that you typically don't want to part with and have someone else see. So I won't actually share them with you on the screen here, but our application, the CloudWatch exporter, actually needs to have those accessible to be able to talk to the Amazon APIs. So therefore, I created another Strongbox vault called CloudWatch with an AWS key value map in it, where I store this information. And since I deployed it while Carl was presenting here, if I now switch over to CloudWatch, we can actually see things happening here. So on the graph up here, we're actually collecting CPU time, which is basically CPU nanoseconds or milliseconds, the amount of CPU time the application has used. And to the right here, I apologize, it's a bit hard to see, but it's the memory consumption for each of the popcorn controllers running in the different sites. So I can refresh this a bit. Hopefully it will add some more data. Yeah, here we go. So those are the metrics that we collect from each site. And as Carl said, from each application in this case, we report them up to Amazon for further analysis and monitoring by our beloved ops team that work in here. On top of that, we pick up the application logs, the same logs we saw in the UI before, and actually post them to CloudWatch as well. So here you can see, for example, the popcorn controller in Gaborone and so forth. The point is, collect data from distributed locations centrally, massage the data a bit, and then ship it off to Amazon CloudWatch in this case.
And of course, this works nicely along with other environments as well. Of course, users all have their kind of preference, but we wanted to stick to what our operations team wanted here. And it's always interesting to see how, for example, UIs like this work when you start ramming in 100 sites and a singular application. And I think one of the things that we keep track of is how is, for example, application performance management going to keep up with edge deployments? How do we make it useful and consumable to show observability metrics and data like this when, again, there are small applications, but in maybe thousands of places. So another interesting observation on the shift between few computers in many places versus the public cloud paradigm, which is enormous amounts of computers, but in fewer places. This kind of shifts things around a little bit, but of course it's trivial for us to ship the data to Amazon and then massage it in here down to the user's wished detail level, of course.
Yes.
And with that, we showed you granular observation of metrics and events for a specific application. And by that, we satisfied the requirements for the operations team.